a lot of the teams in this tournament. But with what Full Sense have been showing us quite lately, I think they have the chance to go up against that of Blacklist International as well. So, with that in mind, we're gonna be starting off with our draft. Help me out here, dude. Like, make sure that they don't, flame me for going for Full Sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get it. But yeah, Blacklist International is actually eyeing on their second victory. Because for the information, everyone, Blacklist is somewhat at the brink of what's the appropriate term? They are at the middle of they're actually at the middle ground. They're actually 8th placer or the lowest in the standings in terms of those who would be qualified for the playoffs. So definitely,
right? The second half of the ranking.
So it will be a tough road for them, actually.
It is going to be a tough road for them, especially against that of Full Sense. They, Full Sense already, they already lost against BRU earlier today, but then again, that was 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
So definitely, right? So
just imagine that was 6 hours ago only.
See, this is the thing, right? Like, we typically want to say that if they're coming from a loss, then that will be brought over to the next game, right? Carried over to the next game. What do you call this? Yeah. But then again, we have to consider as well that Full Sense here has already had a lot of rest, a lot of break time. Again, mainly because their last game against that of BRU was 6 hours ago. And I'm pretty sure they have been practicing all throughout this 6 hours before, while waiting for the next game against that of Blacklist.
I mean, same goes for each of the teams, because they don't want their excuse me, they don't want their idle time to, doing nothing. And yeah, I understand if Full Sense would take a break, but you have an ample time for a break. Just imagine they played the first series, so definitely after a little bit of a break, they managed to go back on track.
Yeah, I get 6 hours, dude.
Yeah, that's big, actually.
So honestly, if I was Full Sense, if I were a part of Full Sense, I would have been able to get my afternoon nap, wake up, and still have time to scrim. You know what I'm saying? I would still have some time to practice going to the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Blacklist International versus Full Sense. I'm still quite curious, what could be the adjustment here from Blacklist? Because Blacklist hasn't been winning that much. But let's not forget Full Sense, actually. They were defeated a while ago by their opponent.
Right.
And for sure, they want to bounce back even stronger because they are one of the top on the leaderboards. And definitely you would want them to, be consistent as much as they can, because if a lot of teams can actually see the loophole or the lack of your team, then definitely they would have to take advantage of that weakness.
Right, and I have to add into that Blacklist International, the first 2 days that we've been doing ACL, as I mentioned, they still is having a hard time grasping where they're at, right? Where they are at in this tournament, to the point that their footing, they still can't find their footing. But the last match that they've had for day number 2 is when they actually showed us what they can do in this tournament. So definitely, I don't think it would excuse them. I would be able to use the excuse again that they might have experience in the Philippines, but not in a lot of international tournaments. I don't think that's going to be the case here anymore, as they are now ready. They already know who they're up against, and essentially they already got a game as well. So honestly, Blacklist International is as good as everyone else in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they have been proving a lot right now. They're a promising team. They defeated the defending champs during the WCS before. That was last August. So definitely a lot of expectations for this team, and you can definitely see their adjustment. Yes, they've been having a slow start here, but definitely they would want to get their W's even further. But this is a tough barricade that they are facing against Full Sense.
Right, and Full Sense, as we've seen earlier, is quite an aggressive team as well. And now Mark.S now has access into Sidecar Cut as well. See what happened? That's what happens if you let Mark.S become the god that he is.
And that's going to be a tough time right now. Blacklist International, on the other hand, has a score advantage so far because they're trying to stack up their items, and definitely that's the best possible case that everyone could do. But right now, this is not looking good for a Tramp, actually overextending a little bit here in order to go for the objective in which to stack up your health item. But an overall impact, Full Sense could actually take advantage of that in order to get much more HP, or rather XP, in their sleeves.
Right, and it's actually pretty good of Full Sense as well, and you know, Blacklist as well, just to be able to know when to get away. But look at this though; they're gonna be able to take them to make the 3, make the 4, perhaps, if they're gonna be able to take them to Blissey. Yes, they will. There's gonna be 4 down into the side of Full Sense. No, Margaret S has been taken out as well. That is a full team wipe for Blacklist International, and this is the momentum they want. You know, Sen already is level 8. Just a bit level 9 can be able to have access towards that of what do you call this, Evo and Fist. So definitely on the lead now against that of Full Sense. Full Sense definitely is on a deficit. Gonna have a hard time against that of Blacklist International, especially when they are very mobile.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, Full Sense slowly catching up a little bit here, but Blacklist International would want to maximize their lead as much as they can, you know, try to force them a little bit of a team fight in order for you to get a much more bigger advantage in terms of XPs, in order for you to have a higher ranking in terms of levels, because these objectives will be playing a vital role for them, especially that they want to secure this Regirock as fast as they could in order for them to rotate back all the way to the Regieleki, because it's just Urshifu, or Scent rather, who's just there trying to wait it up.
Oh no, Lance is now at level 9, does have access to Garchomp. Full Sense going to be able to get in the Regieleki, but then again, the buff here coming in from that of Blacklist International is going to prove them a lot. Gets the block as well, but unfortunately getting outnumbered, not going to be enough to stop them from touring in. Now that is a 28-point overcap for Full Sense up top, destroying the first score goal as well, just to answer back against that of Blacklist International. Now, we have to consider as well that Blacklist International still has the the level advantage against that of Full Sense. So Full Sense cannot be risky here, cannot overextend here, because they are just going to get eaten up here by Blacklist International. But look at that though, gets a Reverend Rend as well, but it even fits into the Wicked Blow, into that of the Dragon Rush, and of course the Dragon Claw. Beautiful combination from both of these two Pokemon, two players into Black International, making sure that they isolate Margot S and they know what their objectives are.
Yeah, and Ryu has been doing a lot of factors here for the side of the Blacklist International, being able to land the heavy slams and the blocks in order for them to have a higher chances of securing their objective was really phenomenal. Just imagine they were able to take knockouts and at the same time try to go for some goals all the way into the top path, which makes Blacklist International step up even further in order for them to get some XPs by scoring some goals.
Oh yeah, but here you have another clash down bottom, gets Bliss assistance into that of the Zacian, but it's not going to be enough though. Sovereign Sword is going to be popped up in just a bit. No, never mind. Actually cancel that one up. And just like that, Blacklist International is going to be able to cancel them up as well. 3 down in the process against that of Full Sense. And now it is the Crustle trying to do some damage, but just waiting, just using their time to buy. And unfortunately, Margaret S is going to be taken out once again. Now here comes the Mewtwo. Mewtwo wants to get away, but are they going to be able to get away though? No, they are not. It is going to be decided with the Disable to be able to take down that of the Mewtwo. But at the same time, there's going to be 2 down into the side of Blacklist International. Ryu gets away. There's going to be 3 down for the side of Zacian, for the side of Full Sense. But then again, Blacklist International has already done what they need to do. They already done their objectives, and getting KO'd is not going to be a big problem for them.
Yeah, not a big problem, actually. As well as Full Sense not being able to convert the scores that they need to is actually a big problem from their team, knowing that Blacklist International still has a slim advantage in terms of the levels. So definitely, they could probably do a lot of team fights out here if they want to, widen the gap immediately against Full Sense, because it's just a matter of fact, at the end of the day, you have to make your goals coming in. But I feel like Full Sense would really have to forfeit a little bit of team fights here and a little bit of objectives in order for them to catch up later on into the Rayquaza. But the XP plays a lot of role as well.
Wow, look at that. Did you see that? Like, Ryu used the Rock Tomb against Crustle itself. And made sure that, okay, I recognize this. I saw the Rock Tomb going in for the block, blocking them out, making them be straight to jail into that of the Rock Tomb. And a beautiful what do you call this, follow up as well coming in from their teammates, making sure they're gonna be able to take down one as well.
Yeah, and that was actually a phenomenal combo or phenomenal decision making from Ryu, making sure that you have to make use of the disadvantage rather in order for them to become an advantage, and that was actually the main product on what he did a while ago. So right now, Blacklist International building a lot of leads here in terms of levels and objectives and the scoreline, and Full Sense is just, getting with the rhythm itself, just get the XPs that they need from the wild Pokemons and eventually bounce back a little bit later on into the final stretch in order for them to snatch away that Rayquaza.
Dude, I just noticed there's no more score goes down bottom for Full Sense.
Oh, wow.
I just noticed.
Yeah, and that's a lot, actually. Knowing that there are top path goal zones here yet available for Full Sense, that would actually play a lot of impact at the side of Blacklist International, because they could just sneak in 100 points later on during the final stretch if they could actually get the spacing that they need.
Right, but with that being said, though, Chop instead of Registeel, I think they're going to be able to take this one up. There we go. Very good. Coming in from that of Blacklist International, going to be able to get in some buffs into that of attack and special attack. But then again, Full Sense securing that Regieleki up top. They need to get in on the Rayquaza if they want to win this. They cannot score in just yet if they want to secure the Rayquaza. Now, the question is, would Full Sense be able to answer back to the level 13s and 12s and 14 of Blacklist International? They have to take them off one by one, and a very, very good timing. Reverend Ren is what they need to go up against that of Blacklist International.
Yeah, but for sure. But right now, we definitely see that Lance is still available at the hands of Blacklist International. That could be the main stopper of the Cerulege later on if it goes for Phantom Force and the Revenant Ren. So definitely, Lance has to play a huge role for their team. But Full Sense, I think they would have to retune their plan here. I think they're eyeing on a sneak goal here. But on the other hand, it's just Blacklist with the response in order for them to touch the Rayquaza and put the pressure against Full Sense.
That is it. The initiation, knowing that Mew is scoring in, now Infinite Cyber is going to be popped up. I think, there we go. Infinite Cyber is going to be popped up as well, but that is going to be enough of a punish going into Full Sense as well. It's going to be 3 down for them, with 1, no, to make the 4, and only 1 is left. Sovereign Sword, Sovereign Dog, no, you are going to be sobering down into the Pokemon Center. The team wipe here for Blacklist International, going to be able to secure this Rayquaza for themselves. Man,
oh, this is it's going to be big. Look at that. The overcap, that's around 71 points. And actually, this is actually a game over for game number 1 at least. Blacklist International taking the W here up against Full Sense, and everything went according to their plan. And Full Sense actually has a nice plan. But at the end of the day, once the Blacklist International, once there is a Pokemon that pops into their minimap, they would all in go for the team fight, and it's just a team knockout coming in their side.
I mean, I totally understand as well why they would do that, because if I were part of Blacklist International, I think I would be doing that as well. I would be, gonna be having the call shots as well that, hey, you know what, Muti's not here, let's go all in. You know what I mean? Because we know, knowing the fact that Mewtwo is scoring in up top would give us the information that, okay, not everyone from Full Sense is in the Ray Pit. We can outnumber them. We have the level advantage. We can go up against them. We can take them out. And that's why I was really quite confused. This is why I said earlier before.
Yeah, and actually, the moment that they picked their defender, which is a Crustle, actually for me, Crustle is more on a defender, literally a defender, wherein you have to defend your teammates with the Rock Tomb. Unless you're gonna go with the Shell Smash and the X Scissor, in which that would really just initiate a fight, but not quite the fight that you expect, because definitely you need a lot of spacing, to be specific, in order for you to pinch down a lot of your opponents. So that's actually the huge factor, or the huge 50-50 situation of a Crustle. So if it could have been a much more setter type of a defender, just like an Umbreon, definitely I think it would be a better case for Full Sense. But speaking of Umbreon, taken out of the map by themselves, and same thing with the Sableye that they really respect up against Blacklist.
I actually think that instead of a Crustle, Trevenant would have been a better pick, which would then allow them to, after Woodhammer, Horn Leech, it would allow them to really just get in on a team fight, making sure that Zacian and Charlotte would be able to really hit, maybe with the Reverend Ren, and of course, you have Sovereign Sword and Metal Claw as well, to that of Blacklist International. But speaking of that, though, they're going to be changing things up here, going up with the Garchomp and the Mimikyu to start things off, whereas Blacklist International answers back with Urshifu and the Miraidon.
Oh yeah, I love the concept here, especially trying to snatch away the Garchomp here at the side of Blacklist International, because for me, actually, even though you need a lot of late game potential for a Garchomp, definitely you could put up a big fight with the Sand Attack as a Gibble in order for you to block out the vision of your opponent. And if you have someone, a backup, just like a Zoroark, actually, that would give you ambush later on, it would be a big value coming in from your team in order for you to get a lot of XPs.
Comfy. Okay, I am liking this composition, this very aggressive composition coming in from that of Full Sense. Obviously, Spoo with that of the Mamoswine, just using Ice Fang to, disposition Blacklist International, and then allowing Zoroark to really hit alongside with that of the Garchomp. So definitely what they want to do here is pick them off one by one, in comparison to Blacklist International, where they can just go in and out whenever they want. So, this is going to be a this is going to be a challenge for both of the teams. Obviously, their win compositions are quite different. Full Sense, they need to pick them up one by one. Blacklist International, they need to prevent being picked off one by one and take them all out at the same time, because we have to remember, Mimikyu and Zoroark are very, very squishy, and at the same time, the moment that you take down Zoroark and Mimikyu, only Garchomp is going to be the one left here as as the threat to them, to Blacklist International. Garchomp, well, Garchomp can do Garchomp things, has quelling basic attack as well, very high speed damaging, high speed attack, basic attack as well. So, as long as they can take them out, Garchomp perhaps and Zoroark, everything is going to be falling into dominoes, falling into place for, Blacklist International.
Yeah, and I just love how Blacklist International responded to the composition of a Zoroark and a Comfey, because they actually have their Snorlax upgrade available on their team in order to block out the ambushes that actually a Zoroark can do later on. And together with the Blissey that would actually go for the Bliss assistance with the Miraidon. But for sure, we have to expect that this Zoroark, the primary target would be the Miraidon all the way into the backline of Blacklist International, because definitely this would be a Charge Beam and Thunder composition, knowing that they still have the Urshifu on their pocket.
Right, and here we have it though. Starting off with game number 2, Full Sense Blacklist International. Full Sense does get the first set of gold, but Blacklist International seems as if they want to push in a bit of a pressure down that of Full Sense.
Yeah, right now it's going to be very quiet so far. Yet Blacklist International is starting a little bit much more aggressive here, and that's actually an eject button going to be used immediately by Trem. But that's actually in order for them to secure a lot of wild Pokemons into the early stages of the game. So definitely the ambush would happen in a little bit further, and they would actually secure further goals once and for all.
Right, and Full Sense here definitely trying to change up their playstyle. They want to be, they want to be more sure of how they're going to be tackling Blacklist International, because they've had a lot of errors going up against Blacklist International, especially when they were getting a little bit too excited, getting overextended just a little bit. That Blacklist International just made sure that they can punish Full Sense right from the get-go, especially at the first clash into the central area, which allowed Blacklist International to just get their momentum up, get their XPs up, and maintain it up until the late game. But now Full Sense making sure that they acknowledge this, know this, and adjust accordingly as well, against that of Blacklist International, ensuring that they don't get the same XP as they did from earlier.
Yeah, and this is actually a huge lead coming in from Full Sense, knowing that their Zoroark is already at level 7, could actually outplay a lot of members from Blacklist International. And just like that, Tremp was taken out as he was trying to attempt to go for the goal zone, actually. And this is level 8. Very big advantage from Mark Goddess. But right now, Ryu has to defend it by himself.
And here you have it. Mark Good S gonna be able to put in some scores. Maybe another one here. 5, yes, definitely gonna be able to put it down. But here comes Electro Drift. Actually misses. Beautiful evasion coming in from Mark Good S.
Yeah, perfectly timed. The frame was perfect on this pitcher in order for him to dodge that one. That was actually a huge factor coming in. And right now, Mark Goddess still applying the pressure despite losing in quantity. Full sense, being confident of their XP advantage because there's no Pokemon yet that could stand a chance if they're going to be going for a team fight up against that Zoroark. So the primary target has to be there, but there's no Queen's Ascendant available yet that could lock in that Zoroark.
Oh no, yeah, I mean that's the game plan here for Full Sense, right? Their game plan being that to protect the president here, making sure that Zoroark can get all the resources that it can get, and make sure that it does not get KO'd by Blacklist International. And now they are now getting ready to push in once again. Ryu gonna be able to see this. Morgan S actually goes in for feint attack and cut for the maximum mobility a Zoroark can get.
Yeah, and definitely, it's really viable actually, especially if you want a faster spacing. Oh, but right now, Mark Goddess was tossed.
Look at that feint attack again. See, look at that amazing. Nightfall Days is gonna be popped up as well, just to try to survive, but unfortunately not gonna be enough though. But did you see the mobility the Zoroark has? Cut into feint attack ensures that it can go out in any situation. Unfortunately, the Blissey was there waiting for it to come. And from there on, I'll take it out as well. But look at this. Live It Hour is going to be popped up as well up top.
And that team fight a while ago up against the Zoroark was actually enough for Blacklist International to catch up in terms of XP. But right now, Sunzig is forcing his way in order for that Regieleki to march it all the way into the Goso, but not going to be quite enough yet.
And at the same time, we have to remember as well that Full Sense here still does have level 8. The Paloswine is still a Paloswine, still does not have access to that of Mammoth Mash. And of course, Garchomp here now is at level 10, so that is something that they have to take note of as well. But Blacklist International is going to be able to punish them down, going to be able to take down this Mimikyu in the process.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, Blacklist International is having a slow start actually in terms of scoring, but we cannot deny that they have a lot of kit later on into the later stages of the game. But Mark Goddess is making sure that Blacklist International would have difficulties catching up later on. And definitely the plan here for Blacklist International is to use the Queen's Ascendant in order for them to get so much advantage in order to knock out that Zoroark, but not going to be quite enough yet despite expending a lot of Unite moves.
Oh, here's the thing though. Blacklist International is going to have a hard time if they cannot take down Full Sense one by one here. Just because of the fact that they still have no stacks. That's a big reason. They still have no stacks. They only have like 4 points, and only one Pokemon is able to score that in.
And knowing that you don't have that one in the early stages and up to the mid stages of the game actually would be a big setback from your team. Knowing that Full Sense has already maxed that one out, so definitely that's one of the biggest disadvantages that they have right now. Aside from the XP.
Oh, look at this. So, Meteor Storm is going to be popped up here. Regirock is going to be secured here by Blacklist International. Going to be able to take down the Zoroark and the Comfey and the Mimikyu as well. And now, Full Sense does not have any attacking prowess here, except for the Garchomp. Garchomp is going to be alone here. 1v5 is going to be the name of the game here. Not going to be able to survive. Are they going to be able to take down one, though? Sancho is going to be taken out here by the Wicked Blow. Blacklist International now wants to get back against that of Full Sense, and now Blacklist International is able to get a bit of their stacks here. Not going to be enough though, but still enough to be able to catch up into Full Sense. Going to be able to get the team wipe as well in the process. And look at the scores look at the levels right now. They are now ahead of Full Sense.
Yeah, oh, that's a lot of damage coming in from the Electro Drift up against Dream, but he's actually very squishy like Mark Goddess, so definitely that was very unfortunate. If there could have been a backup from Blacklist International, it could have been really different. But right now, no one is focusing their attention all the way into the Regieleki, so I feel like Full Sense really has the upper hand in terms of the positioning, and Blacklist International will be stick once again into the defenders.
Right, look at this though. Lance Dropkick is going to be able to get away and try to score it. Sorry, not score it, but get into recovery in terms of XP, in terms of HP rather, and just going to be defending themselves from that legendary like key, which then would give time to Full Sense to get in their XP and their Unite moves as well, ready for the upcoming Ray fight. But now Ryu still at level 10 though, still does not have Block Plus.
Yeah, for sure, but that Heavy Slam is gonna land eventually. Electro Drift not gonna be quite effective yet. That's a lot of damage coming in as that Mimikyu was taken down into the process here.
Feint Attack once again going to be able to take down the Miraidon into the side of Blacklist International. 1-for-1 trade in favor of no one. But then again, everyone now does have access to their Unite moves, and now they're just preparing for that Rayquaza to come out to finally find out who's going to be able to win this game number 2. It could be Blacklist International though, and if they do, then this is going to be the final game of this match.
For sure, Blacklist International really needs to get their footing ahead of time. They really want to ambush Mark Goddess as quick as they can in order for the problems of their team to lessen up even further. But Ryu is checking the tall grasses here, and Blacklist International starting things off the Rayquaza, trying to bait out every single members of Full Sense.
Here you go. The block has been initiated. We're going to be able to see that of a Dragon Rush into that of the mid-light. Nightfall Days are going to be popping as well. Even Fist into the Wicked Blow. Going to be able to take down 2 in the process. Unfortunately, it is on their team. Blacklist International now going to be having 1-2 down in their team. One more though, or Sheepwood tries to get away with low HP. But here you go. Blacklist International is going to be answering back against that of Full Sense, but it is going to be Full Sense going to be able to take down that Serena as well. And now we're just waiting and buying some time for Blacklist International to be able to get back, and so that they can get in another team fight. But unfortunately though, for Full Sense, they have used their Unite moves, but Blacklist International, they have the advantage here. Meteor Storm still up here and Bliss Assistance.
Yeah, and they have to start off their Rayquaza as quick as they can because time is already ticking on their clock. 50 seconds left.
There you go. That's
yet
the
again,
one.
Trap is still available, and that Garchomp will be taken away into the process. But that Zoroark and the Mimikyu is just trying to sneak in some goals out here, and this is actually an opportunity for Blacklist International to steal the game once and for all.
And there you have it. You know, like Full Sense said, you know what? Let's just forget about Rayquaza. Let's go ahead, put in some scores, make sure that, you know, we put in the score as much as we can with this very little time that we have. But now Blacklist International securing this Rayquaza, well, ensures that they would be able to put in some scores. But then again, Full Sense here, they'll be able to put down another 22 points. A very beautiful Egg Bomb here to stop Margot S. But then again, 12 points is 12 points. They need to stop this if they don't want to get taken over. And Blacklist International, very beautiful defense here, going to be able to take the win 2-0 against Full Sense.
No one expected this to come. Yes, Blacklist could have won in 2-1. Yes, Full Sense might actually overtake the series, but no one actually expected Blacklist International to go for the 2-0 run up against the powerhouse team Full Sense. But I actually love how Blacklist International responded into the sneak goals coming in at the side of Full Sense, because they had to make sure that if they get the Rayquaza, they have enough AO's energy for them to just march it all the way into the goal zones of Full Sense and eventually take the game once and for all. And that was actually quick, no, for them to get back into their base.